So starting February 19th, if you're an international student or a dependent of an international student and you're expecting a baby, I'm sorry to break the news, but a child will not be a US citizen. If you're currently on a temporary work visa or a dependent of a temporary work visa holder and you're expecting a child after February 19th, I'm sorry again, your child is not going to attain US citizenship. If you're a visitor in the US or you plan to visit the US and you're expecting a child after February 19th, the child is not going to hold US citizenship. Hi everybody, my name is Daniela and this is 20 something. So on Monday, January 20th, President Donald Trump was sworn into office, and right after the inauguration service, he ended up signing a bunch of executive orders. Now, executive orders are basically instructions that the president issues to federal agencies and officials. They are not new laws, they basically explain what the laws are or how even the laws should be implemented. So yes, a bunch of executive orders have been signed, some including the US withdrawing from international agreements like the World Health Organization. But one that has sparked a lot of conversations and further steps, including lawsuits and whatnot, is the Birthright Citizenship Executive Order. So before all these executive orders were even signed, and before we got here, American citizenship was attainable by birth, like in many other countries. So if anybody, including immigrants, be it legal or illegal, gave birth to a child on US soil, that child instantly becomes a US citizen. I think there's an exception, but that didn't even include immigrants. It was just a very slight exception. However, with this new executive order, actually, let me read it to you. The executive order is captioned, "Protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship." Among the categories of individuals born in the United States and not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, the privilege of United States citizenship does not automatically extend to persons born in the United States. 1. When the person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a US citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. Or 2. When the person's mother's presence in the United States at the time of said person's birth was lawful but temporary, such as but not limited to visiting the United States and the auspices of the visa waiver program or visiting on a student, work, or tourist visa, and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of the person's birth. Now, this takes effect 30 days after the executive order is signed, and if the executive order was signed on January 20th, I think it should take effect sometime February 19th. So starting February 19th, if you're an international student or a dependent of an international student and you're expecting a baby, I'm sorry to break the news, but a child will not be a US citizen. If you're currently on a temporary work visa or a dependent of a temporary work visa holder and you're expecting a child after February 19th, I'm sorry again, your child is not going to attain US citizenship. If you're a visitor in the US or you plan to visit the US and you're expecting a child after February 19th, the child is not going to hold US citizenship. Now, if you happen to be an illegal immigrant, I guess we know where this is headed. So simply put, if none of the parents, not even one of them, is a US citizen or a permanent resident, otherwise called a green card holder, that child born after February 19th cannot attain US citizenship by birth. My guess is that a child becomes a dependent of their parents, and so whatever visa type their parents are on, they will also be on it. I'm not too sure about that. But of course, unless the parents are able to get their green card or citizenship one way or the other, and then they end up filing for the child. Now, records have it that as far back as 2022, about 153,000 kids were born to legal immigrant parents. That is, both mom and dad were legal immigrants. And so it keeps me wondering, what is the biggest impact this could have on kids born after February 19th? What will be their citizenship? If this executive order is duly implemented, how long is it going to take for them to get a citizenship some way, somehow? Can they even qualify for their home country citizenship when they weren't born there? I don't know, the question is endless, but I think this whole situation is hovering around a single sentence: subject to jurisdiction thereof. The part of the House thinks that that only applies to citizens and permanent residents. A part of the House also thinks that once you are in the US, you are subject to jurisdiction thereof. I don't know what you think about that. Let me know that in the comment section. Anyway, so far it's known that 22 Democratic-led states, together with some immigrant organizations and a group of expectant mothers, have all filed lawsuits against the president. They are basically challenging this executive order on birthright citizenship. Now, there was the first hearing on one of these lawsuits, and it was featuring Washington, Arizona, Illinois, and Oregon. Interestingly, the judge that sat on the case, that is Judge John Kaffner, called this whole executive order situation blatantly unconstitutional. So at the end of the back and forth, the plaintiff, in this case the four states that I previously mentioned, requested that the judge should issue a restraining order that will stop the executive action from taking effect nationwide. And then the defendants, in this case the Department of Justice, they called this very extraordinary, seeing that the restraining order is not even going to stop the whole executive order from taking action, since it takes action 30 days after approval. So yes, at the end of the day, a 2-week restraining order was put on this executive action that was approved by President Donald Trump, and we are looking forward to what will happen afterwards. The defendants mentioned that this is the first step, and we are all waiting to see how things will pan out. To me, this feels like the beginning of a long legal battle, and I'll be here to give you all the tea that comes up. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. But I was just thinking, what problem is there to be worried about if children born in the US are attaining US citizenship by birth? Like, what is the problem that comes with it? I don't know, but let me know whatever you think about this whole conundrum in the comment section, and I'll definitely be here to keep you updated. This is 20 something. Please do also subscribe to this space, smash the like button for me, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Let them know that the whole birthright situation thing, it's about to go down and we are here for it.